I remember the first time I walked out of this door. It was almost a year ago today. Not when we started on the house, but when we built the studio. It's crazy to think about that. How much this place has changed in that time frame. And I haven't been here full time. I'm only here when I want to be, which has kind of made this series drag on a little longer than it should, to be honest with you. I bought the back door finally for here. The bottom line is I've dragged my feet on this project long enough, and I have somebody that has it rented for all of 2026. So I kind of need to get the thing finished. This is where I weigh out how bad do I want it and how bad does the house need it. And 9 times out of 10, the house doesn't need it. So with that said, if you guys are new here, welcome to the channel. My name is Matt Pinella with Matt Bangs Wood, and I spent $80,000 buying this home. I have put around $55,000 into it, and the home as of right now is worth about $250,000 to $280,000. Awful. We've used a baby router before, but I set the depth on my DCW 620. This is a 2.25 horsepower DeWalt plunge router. It's honestly for doing like very big work that would require a router. Probably not cutting out windows. The bit is also pretty smoked already. We've got a couple chips out of it. Oh well, it's working good. That was the easiest control I've had. So when you hold the router just by itself, it has a tendency to tilt really easy. And if you tilt one way or the other, it makes it hard to cut. The base being as big as it is, that was beautiful. That thing just ate. That was really good. So the bit that we have currently on here is a bit from Frood, from Diablo. And you can see that there's no bearing on the end. I've had the worst luck out of anybody with a bearing on the end of a bit. I had Steven do a window on the other side over there. The first time he's ever used the white side router bit, and the bearing just flew right off. I'll never forget, he did the window, he gets to the end and he looks at it and he goes, the bearing fell off. Most of the time when we're framing, if we're cutting out windows, it's on the floor. So we'll frame the wall on the ground, sheet it, and then we'll go through and cut out the windows. This thing would be great for that. The whole time driving up here, dude, I kept watching these straps and I thought it ain't going nowhere. That was not true. And then the door, I started driving with the door upright. Yeah, it slowly fell over into the side there. Nice door though. Once we stand it up, I'll show you. It's pretty sick. So it's not a crazy expensive door, but it's got some cool features to it. So like, so cool. Those go all the way down, and then you can flip the direction of the blinds. I'm gonna be completely honest with you, I don't know what it looks like to repair any of this stuff. So if we get, what would it be, 4 of them, finishing up his stacking job. Looking for the lights that I used. Is this them right here? Oh, well, that's awful. I need 4. No, don't do that to me. These are glare control, so the light is recessed up into there, where these are face mount. Ah, that's a bummer. Got some good growth rings in there. Idaho. I don't think I've ever gotten lumber from Idaho before. What's up? Oh, you're not even gonna look at me? Now the soffit material is a square, whereas the siding material here has that shiplap to it. And the reason for that is this needs to overlap one another because water is going to be running down the face of it. You want that overlap to prevent anything from getting back behind there. Whereas this, it's up underneath the eaves. It's never going to have water touching it. It's pretty cool to me that in an area where it snows and gets to be some pretty bad weather, that they store a good majority of the material inside. So up here is my fascia board. So we can pull right over from back there and load up. A lot of this stuff was stored outside. As winter's approaching, we're getting it back in.
What, barbecues in here?
This one right up here. Now they didn't have any of this when I first came to buy fascia board, so I ended up going with this 3/4 inch thick up here. I don't exactly hate it, but I wish they would have had this. This looks way better. So this material being a finger joint, right there is a good example of it. You can see a joint, and these all stagger, connect each other.
A little bit dirty. Oh, just a little dirty.
I think that's it. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate you. You as well. Oh, that's pretty cool. Look at you. You smart cookie.
Cookie.
I got those 20s to where we could one-shot the soffit to where we're not trying to piece it.
Yeah, no. Master Gardener. You want to go over here?
Go inside?
Inside? Inside to your, oh, let's go to that.
Yeah. 188 1/4.
188/4.
Go out here to the outside. 188 1/2.
3/8?
Yeah. Split it. So before we can take off the fascia board out here on this outside, we need to build out the soffit that goes all the way through here. We're gonna do everything on the ground though this time. So we're gonna be hooking everything up. All the lighting and stuff is gonna get jumped, and then we'll make the last connections up at the very top. So we'll match these lights all the way through here. It'll be nice and clean. But we're gonna prefab this section, shove it up here, screw it in the same way we did before. That way it's just done. Then we can trim this out. All this can bat down. We'll make some good progress. But I'd like to see this fascia board get replaced. We're using the same can lights that we use on the other side. Home Depot only had 3 of them in stock, so I don't have anything else. I have 3. But I think I can use one of the alternative lights that is, it's like a deepened can, and then just order another one of these. It has the same pigtail here, so I could plug it in and switch it later on. Still be a 2-inch hole though.
What is this?
I'm gonna get the number on that back side. 2 foot, 4 foot, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12.
Your thought was in the wrong spot.
Yeah, you were a little bit ahead.
Too early. I'm always too early.
Yep.
Let's take this one. So this is this side, yeah.
This is, yeah, this front side. He's a dirty dog. These little fuckers.
What's that number? 2.5?
2 and 5.
2 5/8?
Yep. I think it's ready. Dude, it got so windy. First snow is supposed to be about a week from today, which should be interesting. I bought a lot of the material to get my roof done at Home Depot and we were just there. So I have the material to dry my roof in entirely. All the drip edge around the outside, everything to do my ice and water shield. I have my deck defense from Owens Corning. We are about ready to go. There's a few things that we're gonna be doing right now. We have this soffit to put up, that soffit to put up. Once those are up, we can cut off the existing overhang. We'll do that by putting screws up through there the same way that we did this outside over here. Chop that thing off and let it fall. And then we can go ahead and put new fascia board going up, new fascia board going down, and then back around. This is the Commercial Electric 2-inch canless glare control recessed kit that we bought. I don't actually need the light, I just need the junction inside. So you guys have seen the lights that we're using. They're surface mount right here, and I can adjust them to tilt either which way. These ones are recessed in here to prevent that glare. You wouldn't even see the light, you're just gonna see it come on out. This is what we need right here. That junction box. So we pair that with a different plug and all of a sudden we're good to go. Do you have an impact with you? Yeah. Okay.
Like good?
Who? I don't know who that is. Do I? Did they? Gavin Adcock?
Planed out, we can just throw a screw into that other tail and pull that out.
You ever seen those people that tie ropes without actually tying them? That's what she just did. Now while they're taking care of that, my dad's wiring up the 4 can lights that we've got. Steven's poking a screw 1 inch off of that framed out soffit we've got, and that's so he could snap a line up on top and cut clean through. I'm going to prep the fascia board here. So I'm not worried so much about crown with this material because it's pretty flimsy and I can make it work. So what we're gonna do is mark out the bottom cut that we need. This is on a 45 on the saw, but on the square itself, the roof pitch right over here. So if you look across the bottom, right down here, we have all of our roof pitches. Up here is hip and valley. So if you were cutting a hip or a valley, you would cut it with a 4 and 12 right there for a 4 and 12 hip. But we're gonna be a 4 and 12 down here. That is our 4 and 12 common. We're gonna go ahead and mark that right there. Now that gets cut on a 45-degree angle, and this lines up perfectly with the flat runs that we've got down there. This is what we call a plumb cut. The reason it's called a plumb cut is because on that 4 and 12 pitch, once you get down to the end, this is plumb up and down. That's because we're marking the pitch of the roof here. Now this is where our weld wood's really gonna come into play. We wanna make sure we have a nice strong hold on this stuff that is going to last. Our fascia board is one of the only things carpentry-wise outside of the board and batten siding that's actually gonna remain. Majority of everything else gets covered up. We're going to apply it here, apply it up there, and we're gonna fasten these two together, and that thing is going to be rock solid. You guys may recall a couple episodes ago, we were talking about a class action lawsuit with Advantage Plus, who is the maker of that little primer sealer that I'm using right there. Their glue failed and it ruined tons and tons of houses. It's crazy. My neighbor just brought us cookies. Homemade. That is incredible. Anyways, Advantage Plus had a lawsuit. My pops was telling me that one of the houses that got done years ago, it kind of failed. Like the fascia board all tore itself apart essentially. All of the trim that got put on kind of just decomposed. Pretty crazy stuff. So that's why we want a nice strong hold. Glue is one of the most important things, not only in building products, but also in construction. I'm gonna go give these guys these cookies. Dude, for not having anything in it, it's tough. It is. With fascia board, the way you always want to cut it is starting with your lowers. That 45-degree connection down here on the bottom gets cut on the pitch of the roof as well. It's an easy cut to make, but it is the harder of the two that you have to cut. The second cut being the head cut at the very top, whatever the pitch of the roof is. So as we come down here, all it's gonna be is a 4 and 12 just like that. We wanna make sure we get some time to make that cut clean. So we'll cut off the excess. That way we don't have a bunch falling. Now we can take our time. If you want to get really judgmental, you can look at the black mark right here. That was my cut line. Within a 16th, within a 32nd, who knows? That's you? So 33 and 3/4 long to short. We're gonna write that down, because I forget things very quick. Talking to you guys all day. Lose track of what I'm doing. We're gonna check our factory. That's beautiful. We're leaving that. We're gonna pull off of that. When we talk about short, we're not talking about my buddy Tim. We're talking about short here on the board, but that can have multiple different meanings. You'll notice that sometimes we say short of a 4 and 12, short of a 3 and 12. In this case, short here on the 45 that we're gonna put on our saw. That is the only time you should be pinning a guard, is to make clean fascia cuts like this one here. Outside of that, there's simply no need for it. Is that blowing in your guys' eyes? I'm sorry. So as my dad was stripping back that back section there, where we've got that addition, he took off the 1x6 that was the old lid because it was rotten and falling apart, and I'm trying to avoid leaving anything like that if I don't have to. When he removed that, the OSB underneath read August 8th, 1996 for a manufacturing date. Most sheet goods have a date on the back of them to where you can somehow date the project. On the back of that OSB, it read August 8th, 1996. That was when it was manufactured. So it's safe to assume that the roof here was redone September, October, November, sometime before winter in 1996. Now, what significance does August 8th, 1996 have? Probably not a whole lot to you guys viewing at home, but I was supposed to be born on August 8th, 1996. I ended up being born August 9th. Pretty cool. So the sheathing back here has been around a day longer than I have, and somehow it's still holding up. Meanwhile, I am crumbling and barely holding on. Pretty cool. Pull up 96 on your side. Who else has a chalk box? It sounds like a deck. Here you go. Bingo. Bongo. Oh. Let's not. Yeah, that's so bad. So bad. This little thing's great. Lightweight, compact, fits in the back of any pickup truck with ease because of how small it is. I don't know if they sell something that has legs for it, but I don't have that. So I just put it on sawhorses and a little piece of plywood.
You're moving the ladder. Yeah, you just gotta tell me, hey, wakey, wakey. End up, Sneaky.
You have correctional lenses on because you guys are hard at seeing. It's mainly for like glares and stuff. See the glare? Glare go away. Glare? Kind of cool.